we don't want to hurry. We just want to make sure that the person we are welcoming on board is the perfect fit. So if it takes, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 months to, to find the best fit, then it takes so much time. My name is Michal Marcinik, and I'm CEO and founder of RadioNet Media, a company that runs AdTonos.com platform.
And how did you discover the need for this product?
Well, let's see that from different angles. So the first angle is that advertisers that run their advertising on radio are lacking, that data-driven, targeted, personalized audio advertising. That's the first case. And the second case is that radio is, year by year missing some budgets because advertisers shift their budgets from radio to online because they want, this to be performing, data-driven, and as I said, very narrowly targeted. So we decided to match this gap with our solution, and our solution replaces radio ads in real time. So for example, if you listen to your favorite radio online, on mobile, on desktop, you would notice different ads play to you than to other people because they are targeted to your profile. And that's in a nutshell, our experience and our journey.
Perfect. And how have you seen it change over the years with things like data protection rulings changing, and has that affected your business?
Well, first of all, I must say, I don't want to be a devil's advocate, but I must say that I really appreciate what European Union did to privacy and data regulation. We are far more advanced than the US market, and this is good because we want personal data to be protected. But we are also a member of TCF, Transparency Council Framework by EIB Europe. So we oblige to all those regulations. We want to be in line with all those regulations. And as far as I'm aware, there is no direct implication. There are not any struggles for our business. So maybe we just found, a smarter way to do that. I don't know.
Yeah, and how have you seen the industry change? Obviously, this is an industry and a technology that is massively growing year on year at the moment. What have the key changes been since you launched a couple of years ago to today, and what do you expect the changes to be in the next 2 to 5 years?
Well, I think the biggest change would happen within 4 months from now, when Google will pull out the cookie matching from Chrome. That will be really, a challenge for the market. I really struggle to solve that. And I've heard also rumors that Apple is going to pull back from mobile advertising ID on iOS. So that would be, a next, a shoot in the foot, because if you do not perform, you do not launch a campaign based on the data from cookie, then you will probably stick to mobile advertising when you have mobile advertising user ID. But if it's not there, then, well, that will be a really challenge. So I believe the market is going into walled gardens. One walled garden by Amazon, one by Facebook, and second or third by Google. So it will be, it is hard for me to predict which way it would go, but definitely it will be much more harder than today.
And does this make it a particularly difficult market to come into as a relatively small business when it's dictated by these larger media companies?
It is. It definitely is. Luckily, we see that Google initially started to be interested in audio space, so they added audio inventory to DV360. That's a great move, but also I think still this market wasn't noticed by Facebook and Amazon when it comes to monetization. So still there's a niche. So you have to, move smart, move swift, and just be one step ahead. I'm pretty aware that if someone, far away in the US would do the same thing we do with, tons of money, that would accomplish the same mission we have within, 1 year or something. So we still need to be growing in a smart way and make smart decisions. I believe that it is easy to say, but really hard to do.
Exactly. And let's take it back a few years then. So when you saw this as a real opportunity, what was the moment for you where you realized the opportunity was there and actually you could really scale this? What needed to change at that point?
So I believe that was the moment that I was, thinking that, all right, in a couple of years I'm going to be 40. So what was the best thing I did in my life? Well, so I thought that was the online radio I launched in 1998, and I said, well, we had to stop broadcasting by then because no one was interested in audio online advertising. And I thought, well, that was a really exciting, enjoyable time. So let's get back to that. And I was started to think about how to find a solution, how to monetize radio streaming, radio content. And I think I've grabbed a mobile app called Shazam, and they do the kind of microphone sound matching to find the song you're listening to. So I've made some investigation how that could be achieved, and then a prototype was written, and this is how it started. So I wasn't aware that the market would uh, grow so much year to year. That was just a pure coincidence, I must say.
Yeah,
Maybe I
and
should
as
say I was so smart that I predicted that the market will be growing. No, sometimes good things happen in your life just out of the blue. So that that was that probably.
yeah, and as that's happened, I'm guessing that's brought in competitors of all shapes and sizes into the market and trying to get a piece of that growing pie. Is that right?
Yes, it is very right. And I must say, I think there are three companies in the world that has the similar tech stack to ours. And amongst us, there are two others that are owned by Scripps Network or Pandora. So the competition is really tough here. But as I said, we need to be, moving smart and making right decisions.
Mm. And talk to me about building the right team in terms of having the right expertise to really make this happen. How did that start, and what does that look like today?
Well, first of all, we are really serious about our recruitment process. So we have also published something that is called recruitment principles, when we openly say how the process looks like, what we are looking at, what is the most interesting thing for us, reviewing CVs. And we don't want to hurry. We just want to make sure that the person we are welcoming on board is the perfect fit. So if it takes, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 months to find the best fit, then it takes so much time. There's no need to rush, because the team is the most valuable effort in every single company. You can have multiple different ideas. Every idea could be brilliant one, and but if there was no team behind you that would support you and share your vision, that would be going nowhere.
Mm. And have you got any tips or advice for founders that are recruiting at the minute in terms of getting people that are the right cultural fit, but also the right people to help you scale in the right way?
It's a mixture, because you have to get well along with those people. You have to feel some vibrations between you all. So this, I believe this is very important. Second is definitely the startup approach is quite different. It's not 9 to 5. You just have to be committed. You have to, openly speaking, work harder, but it also pays that work. So just stick to your intuition, I believe. If you talk to someone that is being interviewed by you and you really get along well, so this is a very good indicator that person would probably fit well into your company.
Mm. And as that team's grown, how's your role changed as a founder and CEO?
Well, the very beginning, I was, responsible for everything from invoicing, tracking payments, getting deals, getting to publishers, to advertisers, and so on. Uh, Currently, a couple of months ago, I was kind of, let's say, someone that was responsible for recruiting people, but also to make the onboarding process, because I was, sharing my previous duties with them. So currently, I just, I'm not so much involved in daily, let's say, operations like the stuff I was used to do. But this is good, because this gives more time to me to, focus on the most strategic parts of my role. So definitely this is, a great change for me.
Absolutely. And I suppose bringing us forward to this year then. So how's the business changed during the pandemic?
Well, at first, I think that was March, it was a disaster. So everyone was in panic mode. So we literally didn't know if we've got any budget or not. So, but things have changed. I think that was, let's say, early April or mid-April. And we've noticed there's a potential, because if advertiser wants to launch a radio campaign, needs, significant budget to do that. But with our solution, we're able to reach those advertisers that probably cut their budgets by half, and they couldn't afford advertising on radio, but still they can afford advertising by our solution on the same radio to the same audience, but it's just the channel that is different.
Mm.
So we managed to get those advertisers, and surprisingly, last month we did twice much than we expected. So it is growing very fast, I must say. And there's also a great shift in online audio listening. People are more and more, listening to their favorite radio on mobile, on desktop, on a smart speaker. So yeah, so there's a good trend for us.
Yeah, it's a bit of a funny time in the media, and particularly audio consumption is going up, but advertising budgets are actually going down. It's almost against each other in a way. So during those times, how do you make sure the team stays motivated and doesn't panic? And how do you keep it business as usual?
Mm. Well, I must say that we have announced and discussed a kind of contingency plan, what we call, because we at first, so there's a huge drop down in advertising budgets. There's a huge drop down in our revenue. So if it stays for longer with us, that will be, the situation will be dramatic. And this was the time that we should be starting a new funding round by then. So okay, we needed to extend the runway. So I think I met with everyone in our company and discussed, okay, we need to sacrifice a little bit. We need to have some salary cuts because we need to extend our runway. But I'm really sure that if we all, sacrifice, and I believe that's a good word here, and we would, be on the safe side with a couple of months from now. And it really paid well. So currently we are, uh, earning much more than expected. So we've, back to our previous salary. So everything is good. Yeah.
Yeah, so those conversations are not easy ones for founders to
Yeah.
have with their team that look up to them and trust them and so
Yeah.
on. So
You have to, yeah, I believe that the trust is the most important word here. You have to be trusted by your colleagues from the company.
yeah, is there anything you would do differently in those conversations if the situation were to happen again, or do you have any advice for founders that are perhaps coming up for those conversations?
Just be very transparent. Just be very transparent, because the transparency builds trust here. So this is the only advice I can give, I believe, and the most important one.
Perfect. And what's next then for the business, and I guess for the industry as well? You mentioned that some of the bigger players are pulling back on certain aspects. So what's next for you?
Well, last month we've launched our new product, which is called Yours Truly. That's interactive audio ad solution, and we launched first interactive radio campaign with some stations from Bauer Network. That was an all the A3 test drive campaign. So, and this was the very first such campaign worldwide. So we believe there would be some development on the market regarding that voice transactional advertising, and this is something that we want to definitely, explore, because we see the potential of, instead booking a test drive, you could also say, Alexa, add this item to my shopping cart, or Alexa, I want this ordered by tomorrow. So yeah, this is a huge trend. There's some money ahead, I believe. And apart from that, we want to expand our new markets like France and Italy, and probably US. It depends on the fundraising right now, because addressing US is something, a great challenge. So you have to be well prepared for that.
Yeah, and it's also a great challenge expanding within Europe. I know you already operate throughout London and develop in Poland. So what are the challenges you're expecting when crossing other borders?
So, well, every country is slightly different, and we try to customize our approach for every single market entry. We are present, apart from Poland, UK, in Germany, and this is also a very different market because you need to, you just need to prove yourself as a very reliable partner to get to the business in the Germany. So yeah, so we just learn those cultural nuances. We just learn how the market operates, and before we make a decision to enter the market, we just want to be sure that everything is in correct order.
Yeah, perfect. And for those looking to find out more about both yourself and the business, where can they go?
www.adtonos.com. Definitely, that's the place. And probably our radio skill is also live, so anyone can check and book a test drive with all the A3, saying to smart speaker Alexa, book a test drive with Magic Radio, for example.